Do you hate networking? Yeah, so do I. Actually, it's pretty hard to hide the fact that I really enjoy and get energized by meeting new people and especially inspiring entrepreneurs with a can-do attitude. But I guess I'm lucky because I know that a lot of people hate networking and think it's a big, fat, mentally draining waste of time. But it doesn't have to be. I'm Angela Cote, your franchise growth catalyst, and I'm here to give you your exponential growth tip. If you've been following me on social media, you'll probably notice that I've been attending a lot of different networking events, franchising industry conferences, and education events. I'm a really big believer in maximizing the opportunity you can get from being at these events, by talking to people and, of course, the education and simply just exposure for your brand. However, one thing I just can't stand at networking events is when people come up and they look right at your name badge and say, "And who are you with?" And I know they just want to get to the point and find out what you do so they can decide whether or not it's worth spending another minute with you and then move on. But for me, when they ask me that, I'm like, I'm with myself because I'm with Angela Cote Consulting. And so I've kind of figured out a fun way to answer that works, but I really don't like that question. For me, if I'm going to work with somebody, whether that's collaboratively or whether they're a potential client or whatever it is, I'd rather get to know them a little bit. That's what's going to entice me to do business with them more than just what they do. The other half of the equation is knowing that I can trust them and feel comfortable with them. So have you ever noticed that when you really like someone, you're going to go to your way to try to do business with them and you think of them more? I don't know about you, but the minute someone starts into their blah, 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 elevator speech, I start looking around the room for okay, how can I get myself out of this? This is not fun. One of my favorite icebreakers at networking events is just, hey, shake hands. So what's your story? Or I'm Angela. What's your story? I find that this opens up the opportunity to talk about what's most important in the moment regarding why they're there. I think it's also because it implies that we actually care about each other a little bit rather than just what do you do and what can you do for me. I also like when people just simply ask me, how's your day going? Because that opens up the opportunity to start talking, get a little more intimate, and I find that the conversation ends up going in a better direction if we start out more on that foot. Of course, the icing on the cake is if you can add some humor into your opening line, but we'll save that for another exponential growth tip another day. So to recap, my exponential growth tip today is maximize your opportunity at networking events by asking a more creative question than your peers. I encourage you to try this. I'd love to hear how it goes. In the meantime, I'd love to hear if you have any tips or ideas, or maybe you disagree with me. Maybe you have a reason why you prefer the "so who are you with" question. Maybe you've got some good stories about networking. I'd love to hear it. Whether you're watching this on email or in the social media, somehow message me and let me know. My email address is angela@angelacote.com, or post a comment if you're watching this on social media. And in the meantime, I encourage you to go be awesome.